Hello there, my name's Stu Goldsmith and I'm a comedian, although I'm about to tell you something that isn't particularly funny, nor is it meant to be. I found out that it's Time to Talk Day and people are being encouraged to talk about their experiences of mental health. I thought I'd very quickly share with you a real thing that happened to me. I've been on my own journey of mental health. I don't really like that word, but I suppose that's what it's been for the last 20 years, sort of experimenting, as one might do with drugs, experimenting with cognitive behavioural therapy and dipping in and out of that. And then in the last 3 years, getting some really serious Gestalt psychotherapy, which I've been enjoying whilst not really knowing what it means. But I owe a lot of my current happiness to an excellent therapist called Peter, who I would like to just pay tribute to today because of this lovely thing that happened just before Christmas. He contacted me and said, "We've not been in touch since April. Does that mean that our work together is concluded?" And I burst into tears because I realised, yes, maybe it is. Maybe I'm definitely happier than I've ever been. And I just wanted to share the idea that when you start talking about mental health, there is actually an end point, or can be, or a partial end point, and that's something no one ever thinks about. It's, or certainly I didn't anticipate it. It's a bit like when you get your heart broken and months or years down the line, you suddenly realise you haven't thought about that person that you were moping over for ages. And then you think, oh, maybe I'm over them. And that's a little bit how it felt like. And I just wanted to share that. A lot of people, I mentioned it on my Comedian podcast, and a lot of people got in touch to say that that really resonated with them. You can find out more about my life, my mental health, and the mental health of some of the most apparently powerful people in our society, in our creative society, if you listen to the podcast. It's a series of in-depth interviews with people like Russell Howard and Jimmy Carr and Sarah Millican, all about the ways that they live a creative life and the ways that they cope with it, the ways that they cope with the isolation of being on tour, and the ways that they cope with the creative blocks that comedians come across. And it might be worth your time. I feel a bit funny mentioning it. I don't mean to do this post just to advertise it, but I fully support the idea that we should talk to each other a lot about mental health, and there are some good conversations there that you might be interested to hear. So keep talking about mental health.